going on YouTube? It's your boy Sarah coming at you again with another, not a reaction video actually, but another one of the top 2023, top 10 of 2023. Today we're going to go ahead and do top 10 anime of 2023. And while making this list, I generally did realize, I didn't watch a lot of anime this year. A lot less than I normally do. And I wonder, it might have been just because I was doing a lot of reactions and stuff. But I definitely think, because I'll be honest, not 10 and 9, I would not put on my top 10, but I didn't really have anything else to put on there. So I'll go ahead and, definitely go ahead and get into this. Yeah, so just, it's like if you see 9 and 10, just realize they're not there, and then it starts at 8. 8 will be my genuine feelings when it comes to it. But I just had to put in basically what I've watched and stuff, and then stuff like that. And there's only 2 other options, and the other 2 I was like, no, I don't think are better than these 2. So yeah, that's why I put them in there. But all right, I'm not even gonna get wasting any more time. I know it's sad, and it feels bad. I promise I'll do better this year. I'll watch more stuff off screen, and then we can go ahead and rank it. But for 2024. But okay, we're gonna start with number 10. I'm gonna start with Hell's Paradise, which was a pretty cool show. I think it does have a very slow start, but once you kind of get into it, I think probably once Gabimaru shows his power, once he fights the giant baby guy, he kind of where it starts to pick up. I definitely think just all the Asamons are really cool. I still think old Renji getting smashed by the big baby dude was just hilarious, because he was talking all that crap to Shorty, to Sagiri the whole time, just saying oh, you don't have to be here, as a woman, you don't got to be here, bro, and then got packed up. And that was a recurring thing every time somebody talked down on Sagiri being a woman and being an Asamon, and telling her go back, they got packed up. I did like that, basically showing that, hey, she's got that talent, she's got the skill to be there, she's still alive, she's doing good. She actually took down one of the guys, I don't even remember their name, shit, but she actually went ahead and took down one of the plant dudes, and basically with the help of old girl and basically bro sacrifice. Oh, it's just sad. I'm sad that bro did. But I do like how it ended, and kind of seems like I've been told it kind of picks up, so I'm excited to see next season, just because apparently it picks up and it gets a little bit better. So like I said, it's not something that was perfect to me, but it was cool. And then number 9, we're going to get a number 9. We have Demon Slayer season 3. Demon Slayer season 3 was pretty cool. It wasn't, I think it was probably one of the weaker seasons in my opinion, but I do, because it's I don't think the story was really, it was kind of it was all right. I think it's really cool. We got to learn a little bit more about Mitsuri and Morichiro. I think Morichiro's past is kind of very interesting, and Sagiri, being the one person that had a good backstory, where her family's still alive. I like that. But when it came to the demons, it came to Gyoko, and I think it's Hanzimo. Or how it's Hans, it's something with an H, the scary one. When it comes to upper 5 and upper 4, they were kind of mid. Upper 5 was extremely mid. It's even with Morichiro being a badass and getting his memories back, after finding out his twin brother died and stuff, and he lost his memory. I think it just kind of fell flat. Kyoko was kind of a whatever upper 5. It's I kind of really do wish he was number 6, and Gyutaro and Daki were number 5, just because it's I think they were, it was just way better. Season 2, it's just kind of hard to come off of season 2 with Mugen Train and also the Entertainment District arc. I think that was very hard to come off of, but I guess they did what they did. But I do think the final episode was phenomenal. The final 2 episodes basically, where we had the conclusion with the final with the battle with them, and we get the conclusion where we find out Nezuko does that beautiful sacrifice, had me tearing. I ain't gonna lie, had me tearing up as a grown man, because I was sad. I was like, damn, my boy Tanjiro did this for her, and now he kind of lost his reason. And he did what any big brother did, and he did it, he finished the job, but he was rewarded for that, and I respect that, because she could stand in the sun, which is a crazy feat, because no demon could do that. But we also see that is what Muzan is looking for. Muzan was just waiting for somebody to be like that, so he can go ahead and take her body, and he can be in the sun. So I'm super excited to see, I know they already announced the next season and they already had the date, but I think it's super short. So it's kind of weird that they're making the whole season instead of just two core where it's like it's gonna start the next one. But apparently, I think after this arc, it goes to the very final arc, and I think the final arc's pretty long, from what I've heard. Now let's get to true feelings where I do think things should fall into it. Number 8, Trigun. The remake of Trigun was phenomenal. I've never seen the original Trigun. I'll say that up front. I've never seen the original Trigun. I've never read it. So this was kind of my first iteration into it. And I enjoyed it a lot. From the cinematography, the CGI was very clean with it. The story, the characters were very fun and cool. I like Vash a lot. I love the Gravekeeper. I love the Undertaker. I love the girl that was with them. Like it was fun. And then his brother, Million Knives, was really cool. I think it was just a very, very cool story. And my friend that did say, he was like, it does stuff different, but it has that feeling of like, it still kind of falls a little bit. But I think just the whole story of it, like the post-apocalyptic world was very cool. Bash, like I said, was very drippy. He was very cool looking. Everything, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story a lot, and it was very nice. Now let's get to number 7. Number 7 was back to back to back to back heaters. And I'll say this, I didn't know sports anime could do this. I didn't know sports anime could be this hype. I'm talking about Blue Lock, baby. Now, I know Blue Lock started in 2022, but it also went into 2023 with the second core, and it was just great. Every single episode was hype. We have everything like you could ever want. It just felt like, an intense, anxiety-inducing like match every episode, just to go ahead. Blue Lock was basically, just kind of like going on with kind of like I wouldn't say a Squid Game style, but I guess a Battle Royale style, where it's basically, you go ahead, you have to commit and do these certain tasks, and if you do the worst, then you get kicked out. We start out with like basically being the person with the ball, the first person kicked out, and then, it came to scoring, and the teams, and then the team matches and all that, and then we get to the second quarter, where they got to choose people. My boy got to be with Hitoshi Rin and all that and everything. Oh my god, it was just great. And then the team fight. I can't wait till the movie comes out, because the movie's gonna be good. I think the movie might already be out. I'm not 100% sure, but no, okay. So the movie doesn't come out until April this year. And I'll definitely go ahead and say it, because Nagi was an insane character. I love Nagi as much. I think just the duel between Nagi and what's his name? Just the chemistry between Nagi, Bachira, and Isagi and all that. It was just beautiful throughout the whole thing. I think it was just a wonderful story, and I'm so happy. I'm just excited to actually find a sports anime that I like. Because Kuroko's no Basket was cool. I'm not gonna lie, like I watched that after this, and it's like, but I don't know. I didn't get that feeling like how I did from Blue Lock. Blue Lock, it's like from the gate, it jumped off, and it was just super good, and I liked it. So I don't know. It was a phenomenal show. I can't wait till season 2. I can't wait till the Nagi movie. I'll be there. Cinema, absolute cinema. All right, now we have number 6. We have number 6 over here. We have Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War Arc, Part 2. Phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. Every single part of it. From we get the fight with Kenpachi. We got, the fight with, we got the conclusion of Ichigo's little training arc, and then he came back down to the Soul Society. We see the girls fight. We see everybody fighting. It was just so wonderful. I loved it. And then we finally got, to see the Squad Zero in action going against the Elite Four, basically, the 4 guards of Yalaba. And I can't wait to see it, because it's like, it looks like, they kind of handled everything. My girl came through with her crazy Bankai with the craziest name that I will never, ever try to repeat, because I cannot pronounce that, and I'm not even going to try to. Just know the super long threading needle Bankai. She came through and she put everybody in a pack. So I can't wait to see what she does, what happens next part, because I can't wait, because my boy Yao got taken out by Ichibe, got sent down by basically, he got turned into black. And, he called him an ant. He said, I'm going to rename you. You don't even have a name no more, my boy. Yeah, you're done. You're cooked. Finito. And sent that boy straight down, smacked him with the Buddha hands. It was just crazy, bro. Like, come on. Like, how could you not love Bleach? Like, Bleach is showing right now why it was considered one of the big 3. Everybody wanted to talk so bad about Bleach and say that it didn't deserve the big 3 treatment. It's the worst of the big 3. It's a filler. It's a filler show. And bro, come on now. No. It was phenomenal. This is why it's showing, and everybody's out here, you know, going shaboing boing on Bleach now because they see why it's so peak. You know, they're understanding now. So, hey, I've been here and I love it. All right. Number 5, we have the finale of Attack on Titan, but both parts, I'll say, because I think they did it phenomenally. I still do wish it was a movie, but I guess to make it easier and more accessible for everybody around the world, it was just easier to just make it into 1 hour. The first part was 1 hour, and the second part was an hour and a half. It was basically making them into like a 2.5 hour special. And we get the conclusion. We see my boy Eren Yeager. He goes through trying to trample the world. We see the destruction he causes, the people he kills. R.I.P. Hanji, R.I.P. Zeke, all that. Everybody. It just wasn't looking good, and it was looking even worse. When it came to the end, we had the alien come out and turn everybody, into little non-Titans. So, but it was a phenomenal story. I do think, like I said, I was a manga reader with that, so it's like I already knew what happened. I do just think it was a phenomenal conclusion. And okay. I think, like I said, I was a manga reader, and I do believe that it was done way better in the anime than it was portrayed in the manga. It still had, the big scene that everybody hated, with, Eren basically saying, he didn't want to die. He didn't want to, he just loved Mikasa. He doesn't want her to be with her, cringy stuff. But, he's a teenage boy. So he's not a teenager at that point. He's an adult, but still. It's a cringy moment, but he still has his love for the girl that obviously loved him, but he felt he did what he did was right. And at the end of the day, his friends did what they thought was right. And I think there's power in that. They saw it as I think he kind of saw it as if you guys think what I'm doing is so terrible, take me out, and I'll respect that. And I think that was really good. And because it's like, even with him saying that, it's like he knew, like, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going. Like, war is not going to stop with just this. Even if it's like, the Titans, like, they lose all the power of the Titans, it's not going to stop. And I mean, that's just how it is, Word to Fallout. War never changes, War, it just keeps going. It's like, there's always going to be conflict, whether it's resources, land, power, just wealth, anything. Like, people will just cause war. I mean, we see it every day today. So it's like, it's sad, to say, but that is just how the world goes. But with that being said, let's go ahead, get to number 4. We have top 4. We have Mushoku Tensei at number 4, season 2. I love Mushoku Tensei. I think it's probably the best of the isekais. I think, it just cuts every little corner of an isekai that I love. I know, obviously, it has its issues. It's weird. It has its weird issues, and we do still see that prominent in this season as well. It's not as prominent, but it's still there. And but it's like, otherwise, it's like I think just watching the story of Rudy and Fitz, or Selfie, basically kind of learning to love each other, him going through that arc, basically thinking like, damn, maybe I'm in the guys, his Bai King arc, basically. I think that was very good and well done. It was just very good. He just also bringing back old girl, I think her name was I forgot the mask girl's name, but bringing her back into the fray, and Rudy just, seeing his reaction to that, because like, realistically, like, yeah, no, like, anybody in that position probably would have reacted the same. PTSD just going on 100, just because it's like, bro, last time he saw her, she was with the dude that killed him. So it was a wonderful. I think I enjoyed this series a lot. I can't wait till part 2 of season 2 comes back. I think it comes back soon this year. I think it's like it's March or April that they announced it, but I'm super excited. I can't wait. I'll be there. That'll definitely be on the series. But let's get into the top three. These are all just like the album top 10. These are all series that I believe are S tier, damn near perfect, or are perfect. I do have something here that I do think is perfect. So we're gonna start with number 3, Fran at A Journey's End. Fran is something different, that I normally watch. It's like I'm super into action stuff, but I do watch slice of life stuff, and and this calm stuff is, but not as much as I would say, like the general shonen or seinen, like fighting and conflict situations. But it's a very good feel good. We still do get a little bit of action in there, but I think it starts out great. It's interesting to see. It's a story starting out basically showing, hey, this is just this is a story of somebody. This is a story of an elf. This is after the big war. These warriors, these heroes went and saved the world after defeating the Demon King. A 10-year long journey, a mere 10 years, as Freer would like to say multiple times. It's just a mere 10 years. It starts out seeing them come back, and it ends with our boy Heimdall, basically not Heimdall. It starts with we see they're in the stars, seeing the shooting stars after they come back, and then she comes back basically. It's 50 years later, 40 or 50 years later. It's a long time. It comes back, and seeing him a completely different person. This tall, handsome man. Now a bald, short, old man, and we see Eisen and old man Jenkins. We see the group. They're all older, and then Freya's still the same age. She's an elf that doesn't age. She's lived like thousands of years, and we end episode one ends. Spoilers. Episode one ends with him dying. Being happy. That he was able to live a life with his crew, and and for her, she's seen so many people die that it's just whatever for normally. But this is the first group that like really hit her. Like, damn, I really should have got to know him more. Like, I really should have been a better person, when it came to a better companion. She was just kind of thinking like, whatever, it's cool. But, and that's kind of how her story goes, the Fern being put on to her, learning with him and going with Bro and meeting with them and everything like that. I think the journey is beautiful. We're seeing her grow as a human being, not a human. We're seeing her grow as a person, as a companion, as a friend throughout the series. And it's just great. I love it all. It's just a fun show. It's a great time. I think anybody should go through it. It's probably one of the better fantasy series that you can go watch. So definitely give a look at it. Number two. Super special. You are my special. You know what I'm talking about off of that. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 Shibuya arc. Also Hidden Inventory arc, for the first part. Phenomenal. Absolutely breathtaking. Just greatness after greatness after greatness. It was like Blue Lock, where it was just like every episode you couldn't think they could top it, but it just kept getting better. It just kept getting better with the beautiful backstory with Gojo and Geto, seeing their friendship, and the teachers, seeing them as kids, how they were, and then you see the main reason why there was a main switch between Geto and Gojo, Toji Fushiguro, Megami's dad. He came through. He was the first person to actually put hands on Gojo and actually cause incidents with it. The main reason why Gojo actually understood reverse curse technique and learned it. With that being said, is he was the catalyst of it all. I'm still pointing to you. He's the main catalyst, and then Yuki is the driving force, I will say, when it comes to Geto. Because Geto, he basically, he was already down, thinking like he probably would have gotten there to that point where he went, in Zero. He probably would have gotten there regardless, but she kind of pushed it further. Like, well, what if we got rid of him? What if we got rid of non-sorcerers? And, that's where, his racist antics came up, calling them monkeys, on his Frieza. And that's just, hidden inventory. That's just first 5 episodes. Shibuya starts out with the Mechamaru Mahito fight. Great fight. We get into Shibuya. Grasshopper fight's probably the lamest fight there, but after that, it's one episode, literally not even a full episode. It just turns up. We see everything. We see Fushiguro. We see Toji come back with a fight with Dag and the fight with Chozo. Oh my god, the fight with Chozo and Itadori. Cinematography, bro, the choreography, cinematography, everything about that was just beautiful. Beautiful. Come on now. Like, how did they do that? How did they make that fight so good? And then, we have obviously, Sukuna coming in. Sukuna versus Maharaga, Sukuna versus Jogo. It was just insane. It was just insanity after insanity. And then, at the end of the day, we still got that boy sealed up, that boy Gojo. So now we're seeing what happens when Gojo's not there, the power difference between the heroes, that they relied on Gojo's too much. And now where are we going to go from here? So I can't wait for season 2. I know, Mappa, please give these people a rest. I know season 3 is well anticipated, but we got to wait. Let them wait. We need that. We need them to rest. Now, speaking of another series, because they had this one as well, my number 1. My number one is a show that I started watching this year. Season one came out a few years ago, but season two came out this year as well. I watched season one and season two this year. And you know what I gotta say? The Vikings. Vinland Saga. My number one out anime of the year, Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga was something I was always hearing about from people, you know, and seeing it on forums and everything, you know, on YouTube, on Twitter and stuff. And I just never checked it out. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And you know, I decided, you know, season two is coming out. Let me go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and pick up season one. Loved it. Absolute masterpiece. I still think, you know, episode 24, season one, is one of the best episodes of cinema of television history, any media history. It's one of the best things I've ever witnessed. It's just beautiful all the way around, just from the storytelling, the storytelling, the the arc finishing between Askeladd and Thorfinn. You know, Askeladd and Thorfinn's arc, Canute becoming king after, you know, his dad dying, Sven dying, Thorkel, all that. It was just phenomenal. It was just great, and I don't know how. I didn't know how they could top it. I didn't know how they could top it, but in my eyes, they did. You know, I know a lot of people had a problem with season two because season two is a very, very complete opposite of season one. We now see a battered Thorfinn, a Thorfinn with PTSD, a Thorfinn who's battling with what's right and what's wrong and what he did in his past. You know, with the death of Askeladd, it kind of really hit him like, damn, he did a lot of terrible things in his life during that time just to get to a goal that he never even reached. And you know, now you know he's kind of suffering from it. He's a slave on the farm, on Kettle's farm. You know, we meet our boy Aner. You know, he's kind of like the do antagonist, I guess I would say. And basically, it's a story between, you know, Aner, a hardworking man who lost everything from Vikings, from the same people that Thorfinn was with, coming to terms with Thorfinn being who he is, teaching Thorfinn how to be, you know, a regular person, you know, how to actually, you know, have to be a farmer and everything like that. And it goes into, you know, just the power struggle between, you know, obviously Canute's brother dies, so he kind of takes over that, and he wants to go ahead and basically screw over Kettle and his farm, and you know that becomes a whole big thing. And basically, their son, Kettle's son, basically, you know, being one being a complete monster, and the other one wanting to be a monster but can't. He's basically just like him. Kettle's just basically this, like, you know, this person who's using his name because, you know, Iron Fist Kettle, you know, he has the same name as the actual warmonger, which we find out, you know, a little bit more about on the last few episodes of the season. We you know, it's just a show where it's like, I believe you got to go in with an open mind. Like I said, you're not going to get all the action that you got for season one, because season one was pretty, it had a lot of action. It was still very story driven, and this part two is very story driven and character driven. We get to see these characters grow. We get to see Aner grow. We get to see Thorfinn grow. We see the downfall of Kettle. We see the growth of Almar. We see, you know, everybody, you know, Snake, all of them. We have the tragic story between Garter and Arnheid, you know, which was absolutely beautiful. And it's like, I 100%, it's like, you know, obviously it's like you see why Snake's pissed. You see why Snake wants him dead. And I 100% get Snake. But it's like, I also 100% get why Garter feels that way as well, because it's like Garter basically lost everything. He went to doing what he thought was right, and it was the worst decision of his life. He lost his wife, he was enslaved, and he was humiliated by his slave owner, and also lost his son. Basically, to the point where it's like, you know, he went to go save his woman and was killed for the process of like what he had to do. He was a different man than he was. He was a good man, as we saw in the past, but he didn't listen to Arnheid, and he didn't go, and he went ahead and went with the men, and when they were gone, they got kidnapped. Arnheid and her son Hjalti, got killed. And Arnheid didn't get killed, but Hjalti got killed by the Vikings that attacked. And it was just, it was sad, because it's like, it really shows you, you know, the differences between, you know, what is right and what's wrong, because it's like you feel for both sides. You know why Snake's upset, and Snake's not a bad guy either. Snake's just doing his job, but Snake's not gonna. He loves his companions. All his team is like his family to him, and he like treats them like family, and he doesn't want them to die. So when multiple of his men are dying, he's pissed. He wants dudes ahead, but you can't blame Garter, because it's like he knows that his wife is being enslaved by this other family, and he wants to get her free. He just wants to be a family again. That's all he wants. And realistically, it's like if Garter and them would have let him go, he would have been fine. But obviously, Garda couldn't do that because his job, because obviously Arnie was, basically Kettle's number one woman. It was more than his wife. He was the only person he could trust, so he couldn't let that happen. So obviously that tragedy had stuck. Then we have the war between Canute and the Kettle Farm, which ends in Kettle basically learning his lesson, Almar becoming the leader, and we see some of the best writing I've seen in anything ever, with the show strength and courage from Thorfinn, from taking those 100 punches from one of the Yom's Vikings, and basically just to go ahead and speak with Canute, and just saying, like, just come to the conclusion, like, realizing, like, his dad tried to tell him as a kid, you don't have any enemies. We're doing this war. This war isn't our war. These are two battles between Kettle and Canute. Why are we fighting and losing our lives for these men that are having their own issues? I think it was just a really, really good story. And then, at first and we see, he goes to talk to Canute for a second. Sorry, I'm playing with my dog. He's trying to tug at me. We see Canute, basically go ahead and deny Thorfinn of his wishes of leaving and saying, like, no, I got to do this, because we're seeing, don't break that, buddy. We're seeing the downfall of Canute as well, because he's becoming more like his dad. He's paranoid. He's killing anybody in his way because he's paranoid. He thinks everybody's out to get him. That's the life of a king, just thinking that, oh, everybody just wants the spot. They just want the throne. Nobody's genuine. And he talks to Canute. He talks to Thorfinn. Canute talks to Thorfinn, and he sees, no, there are genuine people out there still. He has an ally, and he still becomes an ally, and he starts listening to Thorfinn and ends up leaving just because it's like, hey, we get it. It's like, I don't have to be this, like, this monarch just to go ahead and get what I want in the world. I could be a good person, and then people will probably work for me as well. So he cuts down his forces, and even, says that to the other kings of England, the territories, and they open them with open arms. They respect them, and they come in and they communicate, and they are friends. They're working. They have treaties, and I think that he didn't think that would ever happen. So obviously that's why. But I think just phenomenal story all around. I think character development's great. I think the soundtrack. Oh my god, the soundtrack just phenomenal. The storyboard, everything. Everything 10 out of 10, perfect. It's been 2 perfect seasons. This is a 10 out of 10 series. And if you haven't watched Vinland Saga, go watch it. I don't care. If you're not into, like, more character driven stuff, just watch it. You might learn something. It has a lot of lessons in this as well. So definitely get into it. But did you agree? Did you disagree? Let me know down below in the comments. Like I said, this is my opinion, but I do agree. It's like this. I think my top 10 isn't too bad. Besides the first 2, besides 9 and 10, I think it could be better. But I think everything else is pretty solid. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please make sure you go ahead and go down and like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll have one more video of these. It'll be top 10 games of 2023, and I'll go ahead and get that out this week as well. So I hope you guys go ahead and enjoy that. But see you guys next time on Top 10 and Say Reacts. Peace.